head. The first thing I do is to place a C-collar on the patient. I don't know with this heavy mount, could he have sustained an axial load injury to his cervical spine?
I feel sorry for that kid's parents.
You get so many hits. You're going to be famous, man.
I hate you so much right now.
Based on his verbal response and his embarrassment, clearly he doesn't have any alteration in his level of consciousness. So, Trevor, how's your pain on a scale of 1 to 10?
Like 3 or 4?
I could tell he was really trying to put on a brave face in front of his friends. Then upon closer inspection, I realized that there are 2 tines from the antler rack embedded into his scalp. That's why he can't just lift the mount off. So fill me in a little bit. I'm assuming you guys are obviously fraternity brothers?
Well, not yet, but we will be if Rudolph here didn't mess it all up.
So you're pledging?
Yeah, and we're so screwed. Wait, what time is it?
Oh, it's 4:45. You're never going to make it, man.
Oh.
Check this out, Doc.
One of this kid's buddies shows me a photo on his phone. There's a high beam across the room with a large mount hanging on this beam.
So he hangs this up in the frat house on like one of those ceiling rafters?
Uh-huh. Underneath this large beam was a couch. Apparently, my patient sat down on this couch after he'd finished hanging up this mount.
And like a minute later, the thing falls on his head.
Oh, look, Doc, I need to get this thing rehung back in the frat by 5:30.
And he's worried he's going to have to show up on that hot date later looking like Deer Man.
So, can you get this off my head?
My best course of action at this point is to cut the antlers at the skin level, raise the entire mount off the patient's head. Carolyn, grab me the bolt cutters and we'll just snip those off.
Hey, bolt cutters?
I've got just one way to remove this deer head, and my patient's saying, no way.
Seriously, you cut these? I'm a dead man.
So what do I do now?
I wouldn't be worried.
For attending physician David Donaldson, running the ER means caring for both patients and his staff.
Recess day.
It's a midnight shift. I'm a couple hours into the shift. It's about 9 p.m. All right, where's Stacy?
This is going to sound really unprofessional. My ex, he's in the recess bay.
This patient's a woman.
That's his girlfriend. Turns out we overlapped, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
He kept her a secret.
You know, infrequently you'll get a situation that there might be a personal issue between a staff and a patient. Why don't you sit this one out, take a break. We'll cover for you.
Thank you.
Okay, sure. As I walk into the room to see the patient, the most striking thing that I notice is their lips.
I'm Adam, and this is Regan. My lips don't normally look like this.
The patient is speaking full sentences to me, but she had what's called stridor, which is this inspiratory sound every time she took a breath.
I think it's a shellfish allergy.
Right. Why do we think that?
Well, we went out for dinner, and she had some shrimp, and her lips started to swell, so we went to the clinic. They gave her something for it, but it didn't get better.
All right, let me take a listen to you. I'm going to have you take a couple deep breaths. The danger with an allergic reaction, especially in her case, the lips being swollen, told me that there might be something more swollen deeper within the mouth. Rika, can you open up your mouth real wide? Big eye. I looked into the patient's mouth, and I did not see any swelling on the inside. I'm going to get some medications very similar to the clinic, only IV. They'll be much stronger.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I'll be back shortly to check on you, okay? Okay, thanks. To me, this was just another run-of-the-mill allergic reaction.
How are they doing?
Oh, she's doing okay. And they should be out of here soon. So I went on to see another patient. My objective was to go back and check on her in a little bit. Then all of a sudden, doctor, she can't stop coughing. Regan?
Doc, her stats are down to 88%.
Okay. Why don't you drop some of that 0.3 cc's of 1 to 1,000? The fact that the patient improved externally but didn't improve with her breathing pattern created a real mystery for me. Let's take some deep, slow breaths. So really, at this point, I'm trying to rack my brain as to what else it could potentially be.
Yeah.
I can't breathe.
like I am with
Today,
peanuts.
Dr. Ruthie
They'll
Kreider
affect
is
me right
starting
away.
work a bit
They will
earlier than
start
usual.
affecting me
Good morning, Sherry.
eventually over
What brings
time
you in
and
so bright and
time.
early, Dr. Kreider? Dr. J needs to leave a little bit early today, so he asked me to fill in for him. One of my partners had asked me to come in
My thing
early.
is my lips don't
There's my
swell like
lifesaver.
that.
Thanks again for coming in early, Ruthie.
No problem. What have you got for me?
Jane Doe, Bay 2. EMS just brought her here a few minutes ago. Police are here as well. They're investigating. It's a single car crash. Vitals are stable. She's semi-conscious, so she hasn't been able to answer very many questions.
What have you ordered?
CBC, CMP, and a trauma protocol, a CT scan, head to pelvis. I owe you one.
You're right about that. How's her O2 sat? 96. One of the first things I look for from a motor vehicle accident or trauma is any internal injury or bleeding, and then any broken bones or trauma to the extremities. Hey, I'm Dr. Kreider. You're in the hospital. Can you hear me? Can you tell me your name? When someone's alert and awake and conscious, it's much easier to assess for signs of internal bleeding, especially in the abdomen. But if someone is unconscious or semi-conscious, their exam becomes unreliable. I don't know anything about her history. I don't know if she has any allergies. I don't know if she's on any medicines. I mean, I don't even know her name. BP is 95 over 70. She's got some trauma and bruising to her forehead, a little bit of light bleeding. She's very tender. Possible internal injury to the upper abdomen. It's okay. You're in the hospital. You're safe now. Baby. Did you just say? I heard this patient say the word baby. Did I just go from one patient to two?
The president of the frat, he shot the steer, and it's like his prized kill. He'll murder me if it gets damaged.
Oh, whoa! John, what the hell, dude? Dr. C. Allen Scott is used to seeing college antics end up in injury.
What happened?
But this is a first.
There's an entire deer head and antlers on this pledge's head.
The president of the frat, he shot the steer, and it's like his prized kill. He'll murder me if it gets damaged. Can't you get it off without cutting it?
Unfortunately not. It's going to take a twisting action to work these tines out of the patient's head. And I can't do the twisting action with the entire mount on top of his head. So I appeal to his ego. You're a pretty good-looking kid without the head and the antlers, of course. So let's just say that I do try to numb up this area and keep pulling like we tried here, and I keep working. Well, I'm going to make those holes bigger. Then I'm going to have to shave your hair and put some staples in, and then on your date tonight, you're going to have 2 big bald spots on your head. I don't think that's really what you want. So let's just say that I get the bolt cutters, we snip it off, we go ahead and numb up the area, and pull those out, a couple loose stitches, and you're good for your hot date tonight. Good?
Yeah, okay, I guess.
So after a bit of cajoling, he finally relented.
Okay, but one thing. Can you cut them, like, cleanly so I can glue them together or something?
I'm not usually in the business of preserving impaled objects. For you, Trevor, we're going to try to do clean cuts, okay? Grab the cutters. But I do feel badly for this kid.
I do feel
How
bad.
long is it going to take?
A couple of minutes. We'll just snip them and go.
Hello? I'm here. Where is everybody?
Jeez.
Well, maybe a couple more minutes than it was going to take. I'll be
Wait,
right
wait.
back. I'll be right back. So I go investigate.
Where is everyone?
I see a young woman that's clearly having difficulty standing.
There you are.
But before I can get to her,
Don't touch me. I know Taekwondo.
Oh, damn.
sweetheart, wake up. Wake up. Can you talk to me?
Damn. No, she's not the
My
drunk.
ex, that's his girlfriend. Turns out we overlapped.
Dr. David Donaldson's ER nurse is avoiding her former boyfriend, who has brought in his new girlfriend with an allergic reaction to shellfish.
Doctor, she can't stop coughing.
Dr. Donaldson has treated her swollen lips, but now there's a new
Don't go like right away on the allergic reaction. That's the same way as her. When I eat peanuts, I slowly get
Epinephrine is a
Trouble
medication that we'll
breathing.
use when somebody is in severe allergic reaction or anaphylactic shock. All right, Regan, little pinch, okay? It's a medication that we
Freaking
don't like.
EpiPen.
It's a big gun medication, but in her situation, she really needed it.
Stats are still dropping.
What does that mean? It means that not enough oxygen is getting within her bloodstream. Kathy, will you get a non-rebreather, please? So after the epinephrine was given, her heart rate increased, which could just be from the medications. But the key to this is that her oxygen levels were decreasing. And at that point, I really had to think, what else is going on? This just wasn't adding up. We may have to intubate.
Intubate. That's like a tube down her throat.
That's right. This situation has escalated to the point that I am very concerned. Regan, we're going to have to hook you up to a ventilator to breathe for you, okay? It's getting to the point that this is going to be necessary.
Is she gonna be unconscious?
You're in a shoulder,
She'll be
such a
sedated,
good old
but not
western
in a coma.
game.
I start to see some abnormal twitching in her hand. Regan? And the patient started seizing right in front of my eyes.
Can you hear me? Can you tell me your name?
Dr. Kreider is looking after a semi-conscious
Here's
patient
baby.
who was in a car accident.
Oh, baby. Did she just say baby? This is a car accident victim we know nothing about, not even her name.
And I bet you
now it
that's
sounds like she may be
her
pregnant.
man's name.
Did you just say baby? Are you pregnant? I keep asking the patient questions, but she won't answer them because she's pretty out of it. I'm not really sure why she's so out of it. Let's get a blood
I wish you
alcohol
put that
level,
back on TV.
urine HCG, and a
Oh,
tox
you should
screen.
love
I'll call
watching
the
that.
lab. Those tests will tell me if she's drunk, on drugs, or if she's pregnant. I can't quite put my finger on it, but something's just not adding up here. Excuse me. I'm Dr. Kreider.
Officer Lee?
I know this seems odd, but any
Yeah,
chance there was a
16
baby
notification.
at the crash site?
A baby.
My patient, she keeps saying something about a baby. I was just checking.
There's no baby, just a driver.
Okay, so no baby at the scene. Okay. Well, when you find something out, please let me know. It's very important.
You bet.
So we're still at square one. A Jane Doe patient that we know nothing about who may or may not be pregnant. While I was looking for this mystery baby,
Hey,
Jane
Tess.
Doe suddenly
She's on
went
there, too.
AWOL. Where's
God
she
love
at?
ya.
CAT scan. CAT scan. It was on the orders from Dr.
She
Bates.
follows me
She
on
might be pregnant.
everything.
This is not good. Call radiology.
Tell Melissa
Roll
and
the
Steven
CAT
and Chris
scan.
I said hi.
This is a procedure that we don't perform often, and I need all hands on deck. I'm going to need your help in here right away.
Me?
The rules have changed. This patient is critical.
Hi, Adam.
So let's just say that I get the bolt cutters.
It's the first week of college,
Holy
and
fuck.
Dr. Scott has his hands full with a bizarre antler ailment.
There you are.
But he is momentarily distracted by a new arrival.
Don't touch me. I know take one too.
So I go over to the girl,
Smack
and
their
there's a
head.
very strong smell of alcohol. Hey, sweetheart, wake up. Wake up. Can you talk to me? It's not even 6 o'clock yet, and we have our first case of alcohol intoxication.
So was one this time, Charlie.
Welcome to my world. Of course, we don't have any information on this girl. Her breathing was erratic. That demonstrates a severe impairment of her brainstem functions.
Yeah,
It
she
can become
just
so
crushed the
intoxicated that the
fucking skull
alcohol
on the
puts your
ground.
brain into a coma. Your brain forgets to breathe. It's deprived of oxygen, and ultimately
Pump her
you die of
stomach.
suffocation.
I've had my stomach
Oxygen
pump.
saturation 74%.
Did you?
Her oxygen is
when I was
already
little
on the
because
low
I went
side, so we want to make sure she does not quit
ate
breathing.
pill, my
As
grandfather's
we're trying to
pills.
sort out this
Oh,
whole mess,
jeez.
I get ready to leave to go take care
I
of my
thought
other
it was
patient
Smarties.
when all of a sudden the phone rings.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like it's coming from inside this thing.
Yep.
It must have fallen out of her pocket
Either
while we
they
were moving
bump
her.
show or they get you that old
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
a family
chalk.
member or a close
Yep. That's what
Hello,
I
Dr.
did.
Scott, University
or
Medical
they
Center.
get you that Epicat. It's called.
I can hear the voice on the
Because that
phone,
Hear that,
Epicat,
Epicat?
but I also hear
Epicat,
a
you
voice
feel it's
coming
fine
from
all of a
inside
sudden.
the
Oh,
emergency room,
God.
which is
Look
really
out,
weird.
blue, like a fire rose.
I think it was actually St. Clair's on his part too. Because it happened here in town. Because when I used to visit my grandma,
Yeah.
and yeah,
You know this girl?
Pop had
Right
his
then,
pills
she
in
opens
the
her eyes,
cabinet.
and
I
I'm
talked
thinking,
to
maybe
you,
she's waking up.
Smarties.
Instead, she lies.
Yeah, she's the girl I'm supposed to go out with
Nothing wrong with her. She's just fell and hit her head
When
now,
Dr.
and
Kreider goes to check on her
she's drunk.
incoherent car
Trying
crash
to get her stomach
patient,
pumped.
Where'd she go?
the woman has disappeared.
Call radiology. Hold the CAT scan. This patient has been mumbling about a baby, so I'm thinking she may be pregnant. A CAT scan can be dangerous for the fetus, especially in the first trimester. Wait, stop. Sorry, guys. No CT scan. I don't have her urine pregnancy test back yet.
Okay, let's take her back to the ED.
Thank you. Then, just as I'm about to walk away, baby. Where is your baby? Fever. Fever? What is this patient trying to tell me? Is this Jane Doe's report? Yeah. Negative. Not pregnant. Well, if your urine
I bet
pregnancy
you're
test
right.
is negative, let's send
That's
her back
her
to CT.
man, probably call him baby.
Then, in the middle of the scan, I happened to notice a newspaper article sitting right beside the text table. Did you see this?
It's pretty strange, huh?
Yes, very strange. The article is about this freak car accident where the victim was thrown so far from the car that he wasn't even found till the next morning. I'm going to head back to the ED. You mind if I take this?
Sure. This will be another 15 minutes. I'll call when it's done.
Ooh.
What a terrible thing if this woman's baby was thrown from the car and was just lying out there somewhere. As a mother, that
Holy
image to
shit.
me is almost unbearable.
Yeah, but
I'm
wouldn't
sure
they
your
be able to
team
tell
has
there was a
already done
baby
good
seat in the
screening
car?
of the accident scene.
Yeah.
Could you please go back and look again?
Look again? For what?
A baby. Any sign of a baby. What if this woman's baby was thrown out of the car? Thrown so far that nobody found it?
You're not going to give up, are you? Yeah, okay. I'll go back and have another look.
Dr. Kreider? The labs are back. Yeah, they found traces of benzodiazepines in her system. Benzodiazepines are a class of drugs that are commonly used in anxiety medication or in sleep aids. You shouldn't be driving with that stuff in your system. ER. It's radiology.
That's why it takes mine nighttime.
Hey, Dr. Kreider. Oh, yeah, I'm looking at it. I've got it. Thanks.
I noticed that one year I seen
She's
no
got a
names.
ruptured spleen.
Dude,
Is that what's
talk to
causing
you.
her to be so out of it?
Oh, what?
Definitely
What?
contributing to
Huh?
her disorientation. A ruptured spleen can cause a lot of internal bleeding.
I
This
seen no
could definitely
names
be
because I'm
what's
on live.
causing this lady to be incoherent and having
Oh,
an inability to communicate with me.
Oh, okay.
Let's get hold of the
Don't
trauma
talk to you
surgeon on call.
anymore.
She's going to need to get that spleen repaired.
Dr.
When
Kreider,
you go on live, like
Officer, any news?
I looked everywhere.
when anybody
I saw
pops in,
baby
like
or
to talk to
child.
her,
But
what?
did
You
find
don't
this.
talk to me.
It's not a baby seat. That's a child seat. Is that what she meant by baby? Her child? Her toddler? Excuse me. Blood pressure's dropping. Bad timing. Now she's starting to become unstable from her spleen injury.
All right, just some deep breaths.
Dr. Donaldson is treating a patient with a personal connection to one of his nurses.
It's complicated.
My ex, that's his girlfriend. Turns out we overlapped, if you know what I mean.
And now her symptoms have gone from minor to serious.
Lack of oxygen can definitely cause a seizure. In fact, it can cause a seizure followed by coma, followed by death. Can you get her 2 milligrams of lorazepam, please? I know she has to be intubated.
Artery
It's
120.
very
See that
difficult
one?
to intubate a patient
In the
that's
corner.
actively
Have you
seizing
seen that?
ET2.
Holy fuck.
And I can see the vocal cords perfectly. I passed the endotracheal tube, and a couple centimeters past the cords, that just hit this brick wall. I couldn't advance it any further. Some obstruction. I can't pass the tube. I mean, I was really at a loss as to what could be causing this. Suction? Can you get the fiber optic scope, please?
Protein stats are still 86%.
I again considered the possibility that maybe she aspirated something. I considered the possibility potentially of some sort of mass beyond that point. A couple things in our profession really make us nervous, and a bad airway is just one of those things.
Whose stats are 84%?
Never want to show it on the outside. But inside, I'm feeling nervous. If I cannot intubate this patient, she's going to die. I mean, there's no cord edema at all.
What is it then?
It's got to be obstruction on the other side of the vocal cords.
Ocean stats are down to 78%.
Can you give me a cry kit, please? At this point in time, because I cannot intubate her oxygen levels have dropped. I mean, this patient is critical. The next step at this point is to do a surgical airway. I'll be right back.
Yeah, right
It's
in
called
your throat.
cricothyroidotomy. We make an incision, and within the neck, we insert the endotracheal tube that way. This is a procedure that we don't perform often, and I need all hands on deck. I'm going to need your help in here right away.
Me?
Yeah. The rules have changed. This patient is critical. She needs an airway urgently. And the fact that there was some personal relationship between our nurse and her boyfriend is irrelevant at this point.
Fuck. Go with that thing.
Hi, Adam.
I didn't know you worked here. Oh, wow.
What is it?
There's a mass here right where I need to cut for the crike. So if I cut into this mass, she could bleed to death. However, if I don't attempt to get an airway, she's going to basically suffocate to death.
What do we do then?
I don't know. I don't know.
I need the trauma surgeon and the OR on standby. Stat. She's definitely going to need a blood transfusion. We have found a diagnosis, but we still haven't found a baby.
That's all I expect that, because if that was on TV, that'll be obviously live news advertising. I remember it used to come on TV, and it used to be hour on.
I got it. Thanks.
Dr. Kreider has discovered that her mysterious patient has a ruptured spleen,
Blood pressure's dropping.
and now she is becoming unstable.
With a trauma patient, when the blood pressure goes down,
What?
it's because of losing blood.
Yeah, no
It's
more.
from the ruptured spleen.
If I had
Get a
any
second
more
line
of
in her
that,
and give her
I'm
a
not even
bleeder normal
good.
cycle bolus. A
Guaranteed
fluid
I'll be
bolus
sick if I had
compensates
any
for the
more.
loss of blood and helps stabilize
You're
blood
warm.
pressure. Go ahead and get
Really
2 units of negative PRBC on it. PRBC stands for packed red blood cells. She's definitely going to need a blood transfusion. Hey,
Yeah.
Dr. Kreider, I need the trauma surgeon and the OR on standby. Stat. We have found a diagnosis.
What
but we
percentage
still
alcohol is
haven't
in there?
found
Holy
a baby.
fuck. Shocking. Only 35%, man. I'm cheap drunk.
Find anything?
Yeah, we now know the owner of the vehicle.
Ah.
It's a man named James Hernandez. Got us just
Gee.
registered now.
But we still don't know who our Jane Doe is. Exactly what EMS said. No phone, no wallet, some gum, crumpled receipts. What's this? Carmen. Finally, a
Name
real
was-
name for our Jane Doe.
Lorazepam is in.
Dr. Donaldson's patient may have only minutes to live unless he can secure her airway.
Oh, wow. There's a mass here right where I need to cut for the crike.
But now, a mysterious mass in her neck is making that impossible.
Some obstruction. I can't pass the tube. Yeah, we're going to have to do a retrograde intubation.
Who's that?
That's where I put a needle into her neck. I put a guide wire through the needle up to her mouth, and I put a breathing tube over the wire. I'm still making a small puncture wound with the needle, but it's not a large incision, so the risk of bleeding is much less. What I don't mention to the boyfriend is that I've never done this procedure on a live person. I've only done it on a mannequin during medical school. Her oxygen level kept dropping.
Oh, well. They do keep secrets.
If
Okay.
performing
You
this
only do it on a
retrograde
mannequin.
intubation does not work on the left with no other options other than to perform the crike. Can someone escort him out of here now? And her survival
Yeah, 'cause
chances
he's gonna-
really are diminished at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Eh? That's not freaky.
Oh my gosh.
What
It was
the
like
fuck?
fish.
Performing the retrograde
Yeah.
intubation, the wire is passed through the mouth, and what I did was I hooked a very small pediatric endotracheal tube onto that wire, thinking that I may be able to pass this smaller tube through the trachea.
That's not fucking
Bagger?
freaky.
All right, let's get x-ray in here. So now we have a pediatric endotracheal tube in the patient. The real question, is it enough to deliver enough oxygen to this patient to prevent hypoxia and even death?
I feel about things, like it wasn't, like you just left me. Wait.
X-ray, all clear.
It's just. Oh my God, look at that.
Normally, I would expect to see an endotracheal tube that takes a nice straight path into the lungs. In this case, the tube actually took a very tortuous path around this mass into the lungs. She had come in with a swollen lip. She obviously had an allergic reaction. I think that allergic reaction was enough to set this mass off to that critical point that it obstructed her airway.
OSHA stats 83%.
Keep bagging. The oxygen levels aren't coming up the way I would expect them to. Keep bagging, come on. And at this point in my mind, I'm thinking, are we too late? Come on, Regan.
Sepus. That's season 11, episode 1.
Girl? Dr. Scott has one patient who has been impaled by deer antlers and another who is dangerously intoxicated. Amazingly, they know each other.
He's actually really worried about her, as am I, frankly. Go ahead and turn her back on her side and get her cleaned up and watch her sats. My first priority is to make sure she doesn't aspirate. But I also want to talk to Trevor and find out who is this person. Do you know her? What's her name?
Her name's Kate.
Kate what?
I don't know. I just met her this morning. Oh my God, I can't believe she saw me like this.
Unfortunately, Trevor is no help.
Wait, Doc, what about this thing on my head?
I do, however, have this girl's phone, and I'm hopeful that I can find some contact information for her parents. So I scroll down, find Mom and Dad. Hello, this is Dr. Scott from University Medical Center.
Oh, hi to you.
That's a really friendly reaction to a call from a hospital.
Oh, Jesus. So she's used to being there.
We're about halfway home and my hand hasn't hurt me one bit.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I said I don't have any pain from my laceration. Though my husband has banned me from ever cutting open boxes again.
It really took me a minute.
2 left hands, he says.
But I kind of started putting 2 and 2 together. Mrs. Price?
Yes, I'm here. I can hear you just fine.
These are the parents that I took care of earlier in my shift. The drunk girl is their daughter. A perfect, responsible daughter.
Hello? Are you there?
How in the world am I going to break this news to them?
The problem is if that gets any bigger, that can completely obstruct her airway. I'm going to call an oncologist, and we're going to do emergent radiation. Radiation? No. Adam, we're running out of options. She is hanging on by a thread. She's pregnant.
Ramon.
Oh, excuse me. Yes. Good.
What's this?
Dr. Kreider has finally identified the name of her mystery patient.
Carmen. You've been in an accident. You're at the hospital. You keep saying the word baby. Can you tell me where your baby is?
Fever. I need to get medicine.
It seems like we keep getting one small clue after another to solve this mystery. Started crying. Okay, great. Thanks for letting me know. They found the child. He was at home, and they found Mr. Hernandez. He's the patient's father. They're on their way over. I've never had a case that involved so much detective work to put all the pieces together. But I'm not satisfied with loose ends.
Christopher, inside of you.
Christopher, I'm so glad to see you.
And this is Mr. Hernandez, your patient's father.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kreider.
Hi, Doctor.
It's very nice to meet you. I'm beginning to feel relieved. She's stable, but she's likely going to need surgery to repair her spleen that was damaged in the crash.
Oh, baby. Daddy.
What happened? I saw you press on the counter this morning. I didn't know you'd left.
Went to the pharmacy. Christopher's fever.
We were out of
It
medicine.
does not want to let you in.
Oh boy, I tell you.
Where's the combination?
You should have woken me up. I could have gone for you.
I've been there with your children. The fever can
I
just
love
come out of
gummies.
nowhere. This mom was trying to take care of her child, but she just made a poor choice.
Hey, you want a gummy?
He's on his way down. We're taking care of you, and you'll be fine. Thank you. You're welcome. Ask for help next time. Obviously, have a family that loves you.
Yes, you do.
It's great when all the pieces of the puzzle can finally come together. We've reunited this child
Yep, fine.
with his
Not
mother.
much.
And the mother's going to get taken care of, and she's going to be fine.
Tiger?
Look at catch.
All right, let's get X-ray in here. Dr. Donaldson has finally managed to intubate his dying patient, but now her oxygen levels remain dangerously low.
Keep bagging. Come on. Everybody's gathered
Oh,
around
you know
the
what
bed.
you're
We're
talking
watching
about.
the patient. We're watching the monitors, and we're hoping that these oxygen levels increase. Come on, Megan.
Stats are coming back up.
It felt fantastic after I intubated this patient. All right, hook her to the vent. I knew that I had secured the airway. That is one of those things that we take very, very serious. It makes us very nervous, these difficult airways. And this was
Like, we're jittery. Like, plus, she's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Oh, jeez.
How's he doing?
It's good.
And you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for putting up with my little drama.
Hey, we are little dramas. Are things better between you two?
Yeah, much better. I didn't want to talk to him ever, but I'm actually glad we talked. Yeah. Thanks.
Sure.
How's the patient? I'm guessing she's okay.
Yeah, for now she's okay. But the fire drill's not over. I had to go talk to Adam. She is on the ventilator. Her oxygen levels are increasing.
Every time I talk
However,
to
she
you,
is hanging on by a thread. At this point, I was convinced that she had a tumor. So I decided I'm going to call a specialist in. I'm concerned about this mass. I'm thinking that they're going to want to biopsy it. I'm worried about the cancer. The problem is if that tumor gets any bigger or there's any bleeding around the tumor, that can completely obstruct her airway. I'm going to call an oncologist and we're going to do emergent radiation. Radiation? No. Adam, we're running out of options. No, listen, reading this, trying to tell me something? Yeah, I think it's one of two things.
Oh, no.
I asked her.
That's the thing. It's like,
She wouldn't give me an answer, and I have a feeling it's no, so she's having a hard time saying it. The other thing it might be is she's pregnant. Seriously. She missed a period. If she's pregnant, wouldn't the radiation put the baby at risk? 1 second. Hey, Kathy, will you add a pregnancy test onto the blood that's already down in lab and make it stat, please?
Okay.
This is not a completely unusual situation. I have to have this conversation with patients when they're expecting. And the rule of thumb is that you have to treat the mother first. If the mother doesn't survive, there will be no baby. I arranged for her to have a CAT scan so we can more clearly define what this mass is. But then also I'm trying to contact an oncologist. They're the expert in this field, and I want to get their opinion. Wow, how did you do that intubation? Yeah, holding my breath the entire time?
Not sure, not you.
I'll tell you the truth, I think that my concern was that this was going by the hour.
They're not easy. Oh, I just ripped the top.
I bet you not making calls.
What? Someone's watching for you.
What? Jump on the back.
I did some laughing.
Oh, it's
Then I shower.
Bye.
So less than an hour, we had the patient intubated on her way to the radiation
What those
oncologist.
crazy wages want to say?
Fortunately, her vital signs remained stable.
Here, try these
Before I
first.
headed home in the morning, I checked on the patient, and fortunately, they were able to reduce the size of
I
the
can't wrap my head around it.
a normal size endotracheal tube and admit her to the ICU. Checking out.
I wanted to stop by and thank you for everything.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm always so happy when a case turns out like yours did. She was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a very treatable cancer. Now, that was not the initial presentation. She had come in with a swollen lip. She obviously had an allergic reaction. However, I think that allergic reaction played a role because it probably ended up causing some swelling within this tumor that completely eventually obstructed her airway. Hi, Stacy. This is Regan.
Hi. We met before, but you were unconscious. Thank you for whatever you did to help me wake up. You're welcome. Good luck. We'll get you.
I'm gonna get back to it.
Oh my god.
I almost forgot. What was it that you
Just
wanted
take
to tell
with.
you?
They're sweet. Oh my god, they smell like it smells like hot chocolate.
We have to have something fairly substantial.
Oh my god, it does. At that Korean place. Okay. It's gonna be weird.
Dr. Scott has one patient impaled by
Oh my
deer
God.
antlers and another who is highly intoxicated.
Mrs. Price?
He has just learned he treated the drunk girl's mother just hours ago.
It's like
I
puppy.
dropped their daughter off at college.
Mm.
I'm sorry, but I have some unexpected news for you. I have to tell them to turn around and come back to the hospital.
Oh my god.
Let's just say they are in total disbelief.
That's
But they
freaky.
are on their way.
What's that?
You don't know what we're trying.
0.24.
Legal
Those are
intoxication
good.
is 0.08.
They're sweet.
3 times that. So at this point, I go back and
That's
I'm
so
dealing
neat.
with my patient with the antler stuck on his head. These bolt cutters are big. They have to be sturdy to cut metal or bone.
Oh, okay. You're not
Wow.
touching me in the face with those, right?
That's
They
weird.
can be intimidating if someone's advancing them towards your face. But actually, not in the face.
That does seem weird.
Deer antlers aren't
It's
exactly
blue weird.
easy to cut. So we have to have something fairly substantial. But let's put a little lidocaine in and then do what we need to do.
This is totally going viral.
Okay, no video of the procedure.
Oh, come on, doc. This is going to get like 1 million plus hits.
Hospital rules.
Oh, thank you.
The staff are holding the antlers that are over your shoulder.
Oh my god.
All right, you guys stable? Got this?
Coffee.
Sorry. All right. And it makes a horrible sound. Okay. Want to do the first one?
It's not
Get
your
the
hand.
antlers cut off. Okay, through that one. All right. Now let's get the head off.
Oh, boy.
All right. And she's all yours.
Do you feel real?
So now the only things left are 2 devilish little horns. So I extract those, wash the wounds, and remove any debris. So I throw in a couple of loose sutures and then ensure that he's up to date on his tetanus. All right, there you go.
Oh, great. Oh, wait, what time is it? Are we still good?
Oh, you're not out of here yet. We got to get a CAT scan of your brain to make sure that there's no intracranial injury. All right, and we got to clear your C-spine because of all the heavy weight that came down in your neck. So you're going to be with us for a little bit longer. Unfortunately, I have no control over the social consequences of his accident.
God, this blows.
So a couple hours later, I go back to check on the other patient.
Mom, Dad, oh God.
She's pretty unhappy to find her parents there.
You can't hide from this, Catherine.
So you found our patient?
Dr. Scott, I apologize for my daughter's behavior. This is completely out of character. I assure you there are
Sure.
Look, guys, I know you're disappointed.
Not much, Ricky.
But really, it could have been a lot worse. She's really a very lucky girl. I personally believe we need to
Where are
use
you
our
at,
mistakes
Ricky?
as learning experiences in life. No one's without flaws. No one's perfect. I think that maybe it's time for a refresher course on alcohol consumption.
I'm sorry.
The parents are having a moment with their daughter when my other patient returns from his normal CAT scan and decides to pay a visit. Hey, baby. The parents get wide-eyed, like, we've seen this person before. They already think this is some crazy kid.
Reschedule for like tomorrow, if that works for you. I mean,
Yes, I like that.
okay then. See you later.
He's going off
Do
with
you
his fucking
know him?
fries.
And they realize some of us are done and may actually date. This was a real eye-opening
Get right
day for them,
ahead.
that's for sure. And you know, for me as well. You know, my
That.
college experience was
Mhm.
even more sheltered than I thought it was.
So you're making up for last time?
Oh,
I'll
you
leave
can
with that
have
and I'm
those.
glad it's over
You're
for
welcome.
today.
It's just
Don't
weird.
be so sure about that.
They shouldn't be sweet.
Oh boy.
Oh my god. Oh my god, we drank it almost the same.
Mhm.
Haha. You want the bun scratchies.
Mhm.
Bun scratchies. Bun scratchies. Okay, now bun scratchies. I can't believe she took. Look, she tipped over her tent. I don't want that no more. You could have just said you didn't. Hey, Banks. Yeah, yeah, you know your name. Don't you, Banksy? Wait. Look, she swept my floor. Oh.
He was a rare earth elements miner and often took part in risky but lucrative ventures all around the world. He would sometimes be gone for months at a time, but when he'd return, he had no shortage of stories to tell. His work took him everywhere, from the smoldering deserts of the Sahara to the windswept tundra of Siberia. This was back in the 60s, when many countries around the world were first discovering rich deposits of valuable minerals through advancements in technology. My father was already a veteran
The
of the
holes
trade,
in those supposed to
having
put
worked
on
the
swallow
mines
them
since he
all.
was 14 and grinding his way up the ladder. He eventually became a roaming prospector.
Apparently, that's the reason why
offering his services
Ballpoint
to
Pens
countries
has the
that
hole
were
on
looking
top.
for experts to help them develop a mining
Plus, what are you staring at?
He told stories of him traveling halfway
You're
around
staring
the
at the back
world
of your
into
coat.
places he never imagined himself going.
Hey,
He
plus,
once was
you're freaking me
connected to
out.
rival warlords back when the diamond
Yeah.
industry began to
You
boom.
freaking out?
Another time, he was
I think
imprisoned
you
in
did.
Moscow
I
for
think
2
pussy
months after
freaking
being
out.
accused by the former Soviet Union of being an American spy. He caught malaria in Argentina. He was almost taken by a landslide in China and stared death in the face on 2 other occasions. My mom hated these stories and how dangerous he made them out to be, but Dad just laughed it off. It's hard to know how many of those incidents were flavored by a bit of hyperbole, as my father clearly had a passion for storytelling. Regardless,
Why is it getting
the
all
man
puffy?
undoubtedly
It
led
shouldn't.
quite a colorful life. But there's one
not
story
great.
he told me
I think
which
regular
I know
sugar
he
glue
didn't
would do better.
exaggerate on. The story of why he
And not so
decided to
much
leave the
either.
mining industry.
Like you piece at a time. You take your dead
Did I
time
ever
doing it.
tell you the real reason I quit? He asked me that one day as he and I sipped on some drinks in his back porch. My kids were out playing in the backyard, with the 2 of us serving as impromptu babysitters, while my wife and mother were I took a swig of my drink and thought for a moment.
You
Wasn't
want
it because you tried fighting
it?
another referencing another one of his
Like
stories where my father got in the gut by a rather unhappy camel in Western Asia. He broke into a raspy laugh and shook his head as the smoke from his cig wafted in the air. Hey, that camel started it.
The good marriage is on his
No,
own
it wasn't
video.
mad that day. I would have taken it down, but I don't believe in hurting animals like that. He laughed
Hi
again,
guys.
taking another drag off his smoldering cig. No, this was a very different situation in a very different place. I asked him where the specific story he was referencing had happened, but he shook his head.
Broke the
I
seal.
can't tell you that. His expression had suddenly gone stoic, and it made me curious.
My third one.
Why? Camel jumble your memory? I joked. My dad smiled, but averted his gaze to the ground, as if contemplating whether or not he actually wanted to say any more. Son, let's just say some places are better off forgotten. That was all it took to get me interested. Whenever my dad told one of his many stories, there was a certain alluring gleam in his eye. He definitely enjoyed the attention and wide-eyed looks of wonder he got as he told his stories. But this time, he looked quite different. It's like what he was pondering was something that truly troubled him. He started off telling me that towards the end of his career, he had an old friend reach out with an incredibly lucrative offer. Dad used air quotes around the words as he said them, as though he was skeptical of the claim from the beginning. The friend went on to explain that a certain place discovered a pot of copper and needed assistance getting a proper excavation site up and running. Dad spent some time corresponding with his friend and learning the details of the operation. He said he honestly wasn't very interested in taking on the project, but after a friend revealed the hefty sum of money being offered, he just couldn't turn it down. So, Dad accepts, and a few weeks later, he's on a plane bound for his new office in this undisclosed location. He said the journey to get there alone took him over 24 hours to reach the spot. So, wherever it was, it had to be outside of North America. Dad was very careful when he told this story to not give me any clues about where this place was, and I didn't really understand why at first. So Dad finally steps off the plane. His friend, who I'll just call Carl from here on out, picks him up. The two of them discuss details of the operation while they drive another 3 hours to reach the spot. Partway through the trip, Carl drops a bit of a nuke on the conversation. So,
there was a woman from Kentucky. She could cook, but she could fuck.
And he said he was dreading where the conversation
There was a woman from
Dad replied.
From Kansas City. She had freckles on her titty.
Well, okay, not even necessarily an issue.
There was a man from
More
Bristol
like
Soap
a
who washed his
curiosity.
balls in Irish soap.
Carl then explained to him that he and his team were inspecting the site. They found some things they didn't expect. The
Yeah.
location they were headed was a small cavern nestled near the base of a mountain in a small gully.
There was a
It
man
was a
from
spot that
Spanish
was known to
Bay
locals
who
for
loved to
generations.
shovel his fucking
But none of
hay.
them really paid much attention.
Just look at her. Don't she look like a burnt chicken?
Apparently,
Look at
Carl
her.
stretched on a lot further than anyone
See, my
expected.
little burnt
And
chicken.
not
Oh,
far
freaky
inside.
dog again, and then she lifts off her floats across the
One of
room
the prospectors found a large circular stone
and land on
slab.
top of your head.
It was just lying there on the ground at the end of one of the corridors. But the shape made it clear that someone had cut it.
Notice when they
intentionally.
meow, it's like real
This
lead.
meant that there
Sounds
was a
like it says
possible
brown.
conflict of interest brewing.
Brown.
If it was discovered that the site contained
Yeah,
evidence
we're
of
talking
ancient
brown.
remains, then it would be turned over to archaeologists.
Brown.
The district that the site was located had a mandate to always
Oh,
prioritize
geez.
archaeological ventures over
Yeah,
industrial
I'm
ones.
feeling it now.
If evidence of human presence was proven conclusive, then my father and the team would have no choice but to abandon it and lose out on their payday. It may have been immoral, but Carl wanted to begin their operation before
Brown.
archaeologists had a chance to interrupt things. My dad says he was a bit conflicted on what to do,
You're silly,
but figured
folks.
at least he could do was see the site for
You're silly.
himself
Come here, I'll give you
before
another
making a
spread.
decision. So they finally get there, and Carl introduces
Overdoser.
my dad to the team. They waste little time in
You want to
formality
call your shirt
and
hole?
quickly decide to venture into the cavern
You
system.
little stripper
Dad
hole.
says the entrance was tight, with a twisting pattern hidden behind thick foliage.
Cool.
The air was incredibly hot and humid, causing it to
You
smell
watch
like
it.
a big bacon factory.
Have you ever looked at fire and
Once
saw
inside,
like
he
faces
had
in
to
it?
squeeze around 3 bends
Oh, yeah.
before the cavern began to open up. Carl
You
led
know
my dad
something
deeper
wrong with
through
that
the
fire?
cave, showing several promising areas where they
I
planned
see
to
your
begin
family.
excavating. The walls were lined with thick
It'll
green
go
veins,
front ways,
indicating the
and then it'll
likely
go
presence
back ways.
of copper-rich ores.
When?
That initial chamber was
No,
designed
that's
as
a
alpha,
relapse
and it
video.
branched off into 2 separate
It'll
Ah!
go front. The spark is going away from it now. And after
He
the
led my
sparks,
father right
the
to
fire,
it,
you see
and
going
paused
sucking
as
in
my
backwards,
father
and the
saw it
sparks
for
go
himself.
back towards the fire.
My dad described it to me as a
the little
massive stone
details.
slab and a near perfect
It's either
circle.
that or I'm
He said it
freaking
had to
fucking
have been at
baked or
least 10
something.
feet wide.
Seeing things.
That's what I'm
Said it
saying.
looked
You
like
pick
it
up
was
all
built
the
along
little
something,
details.
and compared
here
it
he
to the
goes.
manhole covers on the roads.
Told you I was
Felt
right.
like there was something underneath, and said he got a really weird feeling
See?
when they were there, but couldn't really describe it beyond that.
Oh, it's
So he
rewinding.
and Carl
Everything's going back.
The
found
sparks.
an area to begin their dig. Days
Yeah,
go
sparks
by,
are supposed to
and
go
soon
back
enough,
into the fucking
they've got the
Yeah.
operation
Huh?
up and running, with the logistics being formulated behind the scenes. The team begins mining, leaving the room
The
with the slab
fuck, man, I
alone,
can't watch that.
focusing on the
I'll end up running down the road, paranoid, bombing.
24 hours a day.
Next thing I
Part
heard,
of the
these
team
guys been
focused
going
on expanding the second
Yeah, see, now they're coming out.
while the others
Oh,
were
jeez.
dedicated
What
to
the fuck
extracting
vacuum?
exposed
Oh, mercy.
something. So the process
Oh,
continued, growing
Okay,
larger
now
and
come
more
on.
refined with
Just-
passing day.
I don't
By all
watch
accounts, things were going
Freaking out.
according to plan. But of course, I wouldn't be here writing this story if it
Ooh.
stayed that way. It's almost like things were going
God,
too well.
there you go. Hey.
My dad laughed
Hey,
as he
fucking
said
up.
that and doused his cig on his
Give me
boot,
trim.
but then sighed.
Fire.
Hey.
The fire is making my rage. I feel the anger growing inside of the fire. They rewound and fast forward. Oh, jeez. Rewinding and
Oh,
fast
advertising. It's advertising. You know what advertising has? Sound in it, see? I get copy straight for that. Not that one.
Does anyone have the rage and fire make you angry? Oh, jeez.
Head, because I don't want his intro in my video. That's why it skips ahead.
The gut-wrenching
There we
scream came from
go.
only a couple dozen feet
That's
in
a lot
front of
better
me.
than fire going
I
backwards.
panicked. The night was completely black. The sky was in complete overcast, and my fire had pittered out. Meaning, the only way I could tell where this thing was that was
That's what I
making the
mean. You
scream
felt like a
was when
hallway.
it
It's like,
screamed. My mind was
shoot right
racing, and I
on.
was trying to figure out just what could make such a
First time I
noise,
ever taken
but could
any
also
coffee.
move from what sounded like a few miles to only a couple dozen feet away from me in a matter of minutes. I was trying to weigh out my
Okay,
options.
we have to watch a funny
If this
movie.
thing was really that fast,
to.
an overweight 15-year-old would have
It's
no hope
not
of running it.
monitoring
But at the same time, how would I
you.
be able to survive it? Even at
They're
hospital,
not tracking
Give me
you.
the
it didn't seem
scissors.
like I had many options. If I
They're
stayed,
I need
not
them
tracking you.
abducted,
Oh, I
or
need
even
them
worse. But if I ran, I'd most likely be caught, regardless. Then I heard the same scream coming from somewhere between me and where I had originally heard the scream. The realization slowly washed over me. It didn't move fast. There were two of them.
Oh my
Can you
god.
hear
One
me
was
now?
closer to me, called
I
out
wrapped
with
the
another
thing and
loud
you
yell,
can see it in the
almost
video.
as if letting its
Huh?
partner know where it
See,
had went.
makes the sky rock.
Yeah.
Approximately where it was now. I looked in the general direction of the screen. There I saw it. It was a very large, dark shape, darker than the nearly pitch-black forest all around
Come on, Bing.
I would have missed it
Get
entirely
about your
if it
perks
wasn't
over
for its
here.
bright orange eyes. Its eyes pierced the darkness, looking at me.
You
It didn't
some
make any
cute
sense.
girl.
There was no source of light around.
Some cute
My
girl.
flashlight was still in my tent, and the fire was gone,
Yeah.
and the moon was covered by overcast. A normal animal's eyes would not glow this brightly with no explanation.
Oh, stop.
Not to
See my
mention,
search
I've
history?
never heard an
Mhm.
animal make noises like this one was capable of.
The fuck is it?
It's hard to say exactly how big it was, or what its body was shaped like. At first, I thought it could have been some kind of deformed wolf, given the height of the eyes
Larry,
and the howling noises. But then the eyes slowly lifted and shot up in height, seeming like it towered over my 5'8" height. I burst out of the tent and ran towards the trail, towards the path home. My only hope was this thing was far enough from my campsite that I could get enough distance between us to hide. I ran as fast as my chubby legs could carry me, all the while hearing.
I'm gonna check up some stuff from that stream. Oh, okay. Watch. Must you didn't know you can get this on YouTube. Did ya?
Yes. Oh god, yes. But now I got my spot machine.
And Okay, what else? Politics. That was just me on camera. Okay, I don't want to listen to that. Where's my? Okay, I gotta go back and read. What were you listening to? Oh, no. Come on.
That was a lot of running.
I was gonna say, okay, I was just joking, but let's floating out. The fuck?
Even the cat eating one of you out. Oh, Mersey. Go. You know, it looks like a fucked up candy apple.
Yeah, that looks like the sheets.
Looks like a fucked up candy apple.
We had her nursery set up before she
Not
oh
my geez, don't kill you.
slept with us in the crib next to our bed. It had gotten to the point where my husband
Shit's no lie, but fail.
Come on, it's shiny.
It's something, Harry. Yeah, I'm going to say something. Something, Harry. Oh, it looks like something.
It looks like a freaked up candy apple. It's not taking the chomp. It's supposed to be a disco ball.
Oh,
it's what I thought about.
It looks like something.
moving around in his bed and snoring was
Only
waking
now
her up.
drawings.
We decided it was time to move her into her own room.
Up
to that point, she'd never even napped. We always just put her down for a nap in our room, in her little crib.
3/4 of it
My
just
husband goes
melted.
to work, and since we're transitioning her to her new room, we
Look
decided
at
to
it.
try napping her in there. So I'm sitting in a cushy chair, feeding her before she goes down.
Hey,
like
I
always
have a
do.
candy apple.
But I get a weird feeling, just that disturbing feeling that someone is
I
watching.
can't eat them, see?
I chalk it up to the
That's the
fact that
worst
no one
thing.
really went into the room, and I'm just getting used to the different routine. My daughter falls
Oh, my
asleep while
geez.
being fed, and I put her down. I walk
you
out
get
the
the
door to
Thompson
go
Revens?
downstairs and turn on the baby monitor. 10 minutes later, she's up
Ah.
and crying. I figured she just
You
woke
ever
up,
tried
didn't recognize her
you ever tried a
surroundings, and started
caramel
to cry.
apple?
I went back upstairs and tried to
Oh
put her
my
back to
geez,
sleep.
the caramel
It was a
apple is
no-go.
good.
So I brought her downstairs and she fell back asleep
Believe
on
it or
the
not,
couch.
Michael
I just
actually
shrugged
got
it off as a
Grandpa
bad nap
on the
day.
caramel apple.
That night, my husband gets home
What
and
he
I tell him
done?
what happened.
Know what he done?
He puts her
He
down
put
that
a
night.
caramel. He put
Then 10
onion
minutes later,
and
she's crying.
caramel.
He tries to get her back to sleep for an
And
hour.
then Bridget
It just
had the
wasn't
caramel
working.
tomato.
We bring her back into our room and she goes right
Yeah,
to sleep in her
tomato.
crib.
Yeah, the
At this
tomato wrapped
point,
in
I just
caramel.
figure she
It
doesn't
was
like her new
supposed to be for
surroundings.
Bridget,
Yeah.
but then
She
your
likes her old
grandpa ended up.
surroundings.
Grandpa ended up back.
But I know she has to start sleeping in her own
two
room
of them.
because we're waking her up at night with our movement.
You end up having two.
Next day, nap time rolls around. I try again. Sitting in the cushy chair, feeding her, I get the same awful feeling. It was an overwhelming feeling of get out. Again, I figured I was just being paranoid. She just fell asleep and I put her in her crib. Go downstairs. 10 minutes in, she cries. Repeat of the day before. Same thing at nighttime.
And
Same
live,
thing
we
with
just
my
got some
husband
music.
trying to put her back down. She slept that night in our room.
Let's get the phone up.
We're now on the third day of trying to put her down in her own room.
No,
I go in for nap time, trying to put her down. She falls asleep in my arms and I put her in the crib.